In today's Sharp Saturday video, we're going to see how well a $15 knife will cut it. I'm talking about the Kabar Becker Skeleton. That's what's coming up next on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me for another Sharp Saturday video where it's Saturday, we take a look at something sharp. As I said today, that something sharp is this Kabar Becker Skeleton, and this is a BK23, and this is one of their budget lines, made in China. Say that right off the bat. This knife's about 15 bucks on Amazon, and I think it has potential. I bought this thing. They didn't send it to me, by the way. I bought it because I think it has potential to be a good secondary backup knife, or a little emergency kind of kit knife, or even a companion knife to a larger knife, maybe even a neck knife, but it depends on how well it performs. For 15 bucks, if it performs great, that's a heck of a deal. If it doesn't perform, it doesn't matter how cheap it is. In just a second, we're gonna take you down to the old stump top. We'll take a look at the specs of this thing real quick. We'll get to doing some of that knife stuff. But first, as they say on TV, and now a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Hog Holsters, the concealed carry holster I carry every single day of my life. Hog holsters are made in the USA in Arizona, and they are without a doubt the most comfortable concealable holster I've ever tested. Once I found Hog, I just stopped looking. So you can save 10% on your order at Hog Holsters by using the coupon code Survival on Purpose, all one word. That's hogholsters.com. Thanks to Hog Holsters for sponsoring today's video. Okay, here is the Kabar Becker Skeleton. This knife features a 3.5-inch hollow ground clip point blade of 5CR15 stainless steel with a 6.5-inch overall length and just 2.4 ounce weight. It also comes with a hard plastic, they're calling a friction fit sheath, which means basically you just jam it in there and it kind of holds. As I said, the retail price on this, like right now today as I'm making this video on Amazon, I just checked it, it's just under 15 bucks. What do you say we get to doing some of that there knife stuff with this $15 knife? First of all, I think it's important to always check the sharpness of a knife. And full disclosure, you can see on the close-ups, this thing's a little beat up. I've already made this video once and I was having audio issues, like no audio, so I'm doing it again. And I actually, when I first got it out, the edge was not that great. I touched it up a little bit, but I didn't spend a lot of time with it. So we'll just start with the internationally standard sharpness test, the redneck sharp test. And there's the testing medium. Let's just see. So even after a little bit of touch up, still no go on the redneck sharp test. Next, I think we're gonna do a little carving test. Before that, we needed something to carve, some dry wood. So it's always good to beat the heck out of a knife, right? I always like to beat up my knife, as people say when they're critiquing my methods of testing. So we're going to baton something with this. Now this is a 3¼ inch blade, so you're not going to baton anything much bigger than this, but if you need to split a little kindling, that doesn't hurt to do that. And just to be clear, I had a lot of people say, I've never had to do that before. Well, I've been living in Georgia all my life, and camping in Georgia and playing in the woods in Georgia all my life. And I've never had to do this before either, because around here anyway, there's usually, oh man, it's kind of rough on the old hands with this little skeleton handle here. Maybe if I try to use that on there just a little bit, that'll help me. How about that? Oh yeah, look at there. Anyway, what I was saying was there are usually like trees or some twigs or something around that you can snap off and you can find some wood. But you know, your other places may have spruce or birch bark or whatever, but your locality may differ. So I think it's good to learn and practice a lot of different skills. So got this split out now. Did okay with that, other than the fact that still got marks on my hand right there from holding this thing, because the edges are not really rounded, really, you know, they could be rounded more. They're definitely rounded too much to strike almost to strike a ferro rod, probably, certainly to scrape, but they're not rounded enough to keep from hurting your hand. So anyway, I digress. Little thumb ramp here with a slight amount of jimping. So let's just see how well we can carve with this thing after my little bit of touch up. So think my touch-up helped a little bit, but there went a bunch of curls right there on the ground. But I don't think it really turned this thing into a hair splitter, but it's better than it was. So I'm just gonna cut a little pile of curls here, and I'll get back to you. There's no sense in you watching this, is there? Okay, we got us a little pile right there. Now, I'm gonna take my second favorite ferro rod. If you've been watching the channel for long, you'll understand that my first favorite ferro rod comes with a little canister of butane attached to it. It's got a wheel on it, and it's generally in many different fluorescent colors. So anyway, let's try this first. I seem to remember this thing doing not a great job, but you know, it finally got the job done with the ferro rod. But let's see. Oh, almost. And if you're one of those Canterbury purists who's going to tell me, oh, I'm using this thing wrong, I should be holding it and pulling it, you know, that might be true if I had a decent edge on this thing, but it's all I can do to get any kind of sparks out of it by putting a lot of pressure on it. Cool. So, didn't really get it with the regular wood, but you know me. I got my old piece of Fatwood here. This is a piece that I collected literally on camera almost 10 years ago, one of the first videos I made, and it's been in my outdoor storage, basically on the ground here, for over 10 years, and it's still some Fatwood goodness. So we're gonna carve us off a little bit of that, see if I can carve some Fatwood curls. I don't think I can. Actually, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sacrifice part of this just for this video, and we're going to split off a little hunk of it. How about that? So let's see if I can drive this thing into a piece of Fatwood and split off a chunk. Here we go. Yeah. Oh man. Well, it ain't wanting to split. Let's drive this in a little deeper into the stump. See if we can split it off. There we go. Ooh-wee. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, look at that. Can you just smell that? Oh my goodness. Ooh, baby. Let's see if I can get it out of there. All right, now maybe we can get us some Fatwood curls or carves or something. Let's see. And this is a brief little bit of rambling aside. You can see the outside of this is brown. The inside is that golden goodness. This is just some oxidation. It all looked like this when I split it out of the stump, that I got it out of the pine stump. But the outside oxidizes and it just protects it, I guess. The terpenes, oils in it protect it. And like I say, it's been out here in the weather for 10 years. And in just a minute, you're gonna see how that has no effect on its flammability, fireability, and all that good stuff. So we got a little Fatwood there. Now, what I'm gonna try to do is make some Fatwood dust by scraping. And that's what I really like to do. And we got a little bit there, so knock that over there, chop that down, spread it out. We don't want it to be a clump, we want it to be little tiny fibers, so they'll have very low combustible point and they'll be easy to catch afar, because we ain't getting good sparks off of this thing. So a little fluff there, put you back in storage with your big brother, and now let's see if we can get us afar. Again, still not a lot of sparks here, but it don't take many with the Fatwood. I love me some Fatwood. Okay. I think we should get all scientific now, don't you?
Chuck Norris can drown a fish.
As you know, here at Survival on Purpose, we are all about the science, and to that end, we maintain a state-of-the-art, cutting-edge knife testing facility here at our outdoor studios. And one of the things we like to test is the aerodynamic balance of every fixed blade knife, and to do so we use our balance, orientation, and rotation device. So I think we should do that, don't you? Now let me give you a caveat here. First of all, these little knives that weigh 2.3 ounces are really difficult to balance test because they just don't have a lot of mass behind them to penetrate into the balance, orientation, and rotation device. But we're going to endeavor to persevere. So, and I typically am not that good with these things either. My my testing skill is not that high with these lightweight little small knives, but we're gonna see. So I'm gonna start, I think, with some no spin balance testing. Start close and start stepping back. That's the way I generally do no spin. I start close and just keep stepping back to kind of get my angles down. So let's try that, and then we'll come back to the standard testing. We start like right here, and just then we'll take a big step back. Oh, she rang like a bell. One more. Another step back. Another step back. One more step back. Go. Give me a break in my concentration. Okay, I think that was the limit of my no spin ability with this one. Let's try just a regular full spin throw. Not too good. I forgot the whole scientific method. Whoop, 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 whoop. It works every time. Okay, I said it works every time. Not really, but it worked that time. And I'll show you what I was doing. I actually figured out that if I put my Johnny Cash finger, as I say, right here, and just use that distance, it gives it the right amount of flip. So anyway, I think we can call this one balanced. And just to kind of wrap this up, my final thoughts on this thing, it's a $15 knife. So, and as I said, if it doesn't perform, it doesn't matter how cheap it is, it's worthless. But I don't think this one's worthless. I think it's a very, very thin, flat, lightweight knife. So it's a good, if you can get the edge on it, and I think you can, it's a good, very lightweight companion knife. This thing with the sheath, still very lightweight, very thin, just a little blade cover. You can stick that in your pocket. You can stick it in your sock. You can put it on a neck knife, in a medium-sized survival kit, a first aid kit, anything like that. And you got a serviceable size blade. It's a lot better than a scalpel blade or a razor blade. The only thing I'll say is you just really need to do, there's two modifications I think you need to make. First, you need to make sure the edge is good on it, and just some time would do that. I spent 5 minutes and got a little better edge on it. So 30 minutes, 45 minutes with a good stone would probably sharpen it really sharp. And then I'd take a file and just catch the back of that thing. Maybe not here, because you might want to put your thumb there, but maybe just up here, where you're not going to have your thumb up there unless you got, Donald Trump hands, I don't know. But that would give you the ability to strike a ferro rod and scrape really well. So that's it. I hope this has been somewhat informative and reasonably entertaining. That's the Kabar Becker BK23 Skeleton. And I really sincerely appreciate you watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.